Yeah, they uploaded it a couple of days ago. The Electric Ballroom, Jazzroom, Jazz Fusion Dance Competition 1983. Yeah, it was an official competition. So the form of what I was going to say. So, I was getting ready to say something about Giles Peterson. I said some part where he didn't put on like any tunes, but my mind went somewhere else and I started talking about something else. Like Electric Ballroom, I wasn't like standing up there talking to people. I was overhearing bits and pieces and stuff. Well, I heard enough to know in the late stages of Electric Ballroom, apparently I don't know what was going on. I didn't even ask to this day. I didn't make no inquiries to anybody back in the day or 30 years ago. Apparently, I was hearing Paul Murphy is in a little bit of a trouble. I don't know his financial or whatever. I don't have a clue. But I knew there was something going on. It was going on for a good few weeks and stuff. Anyway, and there was even a time when I didn't know what was going on. I wonder if they remember, I'm talking about SEYMOUR and all that stuff he's there talking on with that the bottom end.co.uk website that he has. You'd have thought that you wrote down a lot of stuff about what's going on in the past and everything. They not done anything when they closed down the jazz room. When they closed down the jazz room for a month. I mean, we should do some inquiries and cipher for information what was going on there. I don't know if it had anything to do with Paul Murphy, but apparently when I heard that Paul Murphy sold all his tunes to Giles Peterson. So when Giles Peterson walked in, I don't know if Giles Peterson even owned any jazz tunes. He couldn't make one or two, I don't know. But apparently, Paul Murphy sold all his tunes, all his jazz fusion tunes to Giles Peterson at a discount rate. I've been checking out some shit online because I remember Giles Peterson, this is years after the war. I remember he was sitting there talking to a few people and everything, I don't know if it was Dingles or whatever. And he was saying, you can get a lot of money for these records and everything because they were gonna because vinyl was going out and stuff in CD, and they knew about internet in the future, even though that wasn't really big time in them days and stuff. And he knew he was going to make a fortune from that shit. So he must have made like tens of thousands of pounds in excess of that from the records that you bought at Paul Murphy. I don't know how much money he gave to Paul Murphy for the tunes that he was playing at Electric Ballroom, because he wasn't really the jazz DJ, he wasn't the star DJ in that place, even though people were sitting there talking about it as though it's the case. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this upload, because maybe people could maybe misinterpret what I said from that last upload of the Electric Ballroom Jazzroom Jazz Dance Competition 1983. When I said I don't dance in competition, what I really meant to say, I said the wrong word, I didn't say competition, I'm talking about battle dancing, where there's two guys who's facing off each other and dancing. I think this was the tune that Melvin Cowboy turned around and said to Paul Murphy to put on. I mean, it was supposedly battle dancing. Battle dancing was, I think, in that competition, everybody's just doing their own thing with the solo, just doing their solo. People weren't facing each other, dancing each other and stuff, contact or whatever. People just doing their own thing with their own space and stuff. And that's what was going on at that Lyceum all there. They weren't battling, the guys weren't battling dancing, they were just them guys in the circle. Perry was in that circle, like he didn't outshine shit. If they weren't facing each other, and there's three people in that particular circle just doing their own solo thing. They weren't facing each other dancing. And what I was saying in that SEYMOUR nurse thing, that story that he's come out with, the only time I think he's talking about what happened in Electric Ballroom. Now, I don't have no recollection of any of that shit. And not that I don't have no recollection. I know I would not have danced to that particular tune that he was talking about. But I think Giles Peterson was one of the things. They used to play that tune a couple of times, but that's when it ended, when they switched on the lights and everybody was walking out. A couple of people used to be messing around and thought it was all over because it was the last tune. So that sometimes Giles Peterson, when he was playing at Dingles, he used to play Nina Simone, I mean, This Cares For Me, right at the very last tune when everybody's leaving. And that was that tune that he was talking about, that bottom end business. I don't remember it in the middle of the night or early during the day when they're playing it, and they did. I don't think I'll dance it because that's not my kind of thing. I don't remember dancing the tune. People that know, I mean, even that, I don't know if he's still married or whatever. I wonder if his wife at the end of the day can tell if he's lying or not, because you can easily tell, if someone don't know him can tell that he's lying. He's not even getting any words like this, this and that, and he's not really describing anything. You know, that's the upload doing that shit. I mean, it's obvious that he's lying. Now, I never danced him. I didn't dance no battle dance competition against anyone. My thing is just solo doing my own thing. I don't face it. There was a misunderstanding one time at Electric Ballroom where I was just doing my own thing. And some guy was in the vicinity. Well, was standing, he was about, say, could have been like 3 meters away, and but he wasn't facing, he was just facing to the side. I wasn't even taking any notes. And then before you know, all these people started gathering around, and they're looking at what I was doing, they're looking at what that guy was doing, and more people started coming up to this, made a circle and stuff. It was accidental, but it wasn't a battle. I didn't get into no battle or anything. I was just doing my thing, and all right. They cheered what I was doing. And then the guy who was dancing in the vicinity, about 3 meters away, he turned around and he kind of nodded like, he just conceded defeat. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't battling against his man, but I wasn't going in there battling. I'm sure that the one with the prime time seat there, that Paul Murphy, and even Giles Peters, I don't know if he has any memory, but I don't think he remembers even playing an entire tune. There's tunes that was about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 minutes. Do you remember any of them of IDJs dancing to entire tunes and dancing to the next? Remember, there's about 6 hours of music playing. And it wasn't no stuff where someone was just doing like a 10, 15 second song and bang, and walking off the floor, what you see on YouTube and stuff. It wasn't any of that. There's elements with it, there's that, but there was guys who could dance like, who could dance on the floor, because there was a certain technique for the top fusion dancers. It's perfectly feasible to be dancing to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, even an hour and a quarter to tunes, because there's a technique to, and keep them dancing to the beats of the tune and the same kind of tempo. Wasn't any of that shit what they say. They say, oh, that's what we was doing. I think he was, that was in a Holy Roller Productions. He had some other clips from the filming that was done in Electric Ballroom. When that was filming in them days, there wasn't nothing really that was going on. I mean, people turn around saying, it ain't happening, they got the lights on, there was none of the atmosphere. She just barely got a drop of the ocean was going on. And it wasn't that what was going on. People could be under the impression there's this guy called Andrew Collins. He used to live down the road from me. But he's apparently, I don't know, because my sister knew his sister. I don't know if they went to school together. And that's how we met. And oh, right. And a couple of times we just got Electric Ballroom together. I'll show you this picture of this guy, Andrew Collins, there. He's complete shit. He wasn't rating and nobody was watching because the cameras are there and people standing around there. If there's no cameras on, there'll be nobody watching these chicken shit solos and stuff because he couldn't dance. But people under the impression that they were the top dancer. There's only maybe 1 or 2 faces in that Electric Ballroom clip on YouTube where you can turn around and say, oh, a couple of them guys had a name and could dance, but only 1 or 2 at most. The rest, no good. And I'm not talking about Jerry Barrett because he's only in that jazz room when he can't be 2 places at once. All the people downstairs, he was downstairs like over 99.9% of the time in all the years of Electric Ballroom between 82 and 86. He's only upstairs dancing because the camera's there. He's following around the camera. Now he can't dance. He can't dance jazz fusion. I mean, they should call that's what I mainly went. That's what I uploaded to say. There was a misunderstanding. I said, oh, I'm contradicting myself. I'm contradicting myself. Oh, I don't dance in competition yet. I won these competition. I was talking about solo. I was saying the word competition at a certain time when I should have been saying battle dancing, like what Seymour Nurse is talking about in one of these YouTube uploads, and he's turning around saying that I apparently had a battle competition with Gary Nurse in the jazz room. Now, if I did, I would have definitely remember that, and so would the people, because there's no way that I was someone who, like, there's certain guys, like the very first week when the Electric Ballroom opened, and I went there with my school friends, there was this battle dancer. I was just doing my own little thing. I couldn't dance. I'm at school, right? I'm just standing there, the jazz room is literally empty, just me, Michael Chapman, Devin Jensen on the dance floor, and there was this battle dancer. He must have come from, I don't know, not all the Jaffa dancers are battle dancers, there was a couple of them. He stepped foot on my floor, I'm just standing there and he's just doing his thing and everything. I mean, Well, I'm going to explain this later on. That's the story, because I remember Andrew, Michael Chapman was witness to that, and he couldn't stop laughing at it. I mean, I'm just standing there, and there's this guy. This is the very first. This is the opening night at Electric Ballroom, and we just got there, and we was there early, and this guy just walked into the jazz room, and Devin Johnson, he was at the far end, what they were calling the main dance floor. He just ran towards the bar. There's a bar upstairs and a bar downstairs, and then Michael Chapman, he stopped dancing because he was just messing around. He was like spread out on the dance floor because we was the only ones in the jazz room and stuff, and there's nobody else in there, so it was safe to dance in a sense. Because we didn't go in there with the dance moves and stuff. And then Michael Chapman just walked to the side and stood. I was wondering, what the hell's going on? I was just watching this guy walking. I was thinking nothing of it. Next week the guy walked past me, got to me, walked past me in the far. I thought nothing of it. There's another door behind me that goes down the stairs, upstairs, Electric Ballroom. Then he started dancing my fist in. I said, hey, there's plenty of room. I thought for a second, I didn't say nothing. I thought, hey, there's plenty of room in the jazz room. Why are you dancing over there? And there's a big room over there. I thought nothing of it. The next minute, he's doing these spins and he's facing me. The next minute, I'm apparently in this battle competition against my will kind of thing. And he was doing all this stuff. He picked up his leg and he hurt his straight. Was he double jointed or some shit? Amazing shit like this. But yeah, I bet he wasn't one of the top dancers from Jaffers. Because I was there. I see something. And then at first, in the opening night, I saw a couple of them top in the Electric Ballroom. When Jaffa shut down and then they moved it to Electric Ballroom, I was there on the opening night with Michael Chapman and Devin Johnson from Peckham School, and I saw a couple of these top dancers, and I tell you what, them IDJ dancers, they ain't shit. They're like less than 1% of the caliber of these guys. I've never seen any truth, because if you were to see these guys, and they say there was a say you actually filmed them. There was a time machine, but back in time, somebody filmed them and they put it on YouTube. People have been, millions of people saying, them guys are absolutely amazing. They can't say nothing about their IDJ because they're complete shit. They're fraudsters, they're cons, they're imposters. Anyway, I was looking for my life and stuff. And the truth is out there at the end of the day. Yeah, because people tell me, oh, don't look at that stuff. Because sometimes I'm talking and sometimes I'm improvising, I'm thinking, I'm talking about something, and then I think of something else, and I start talking about something else, and I forget about what it is I intentionally started talking about. Like that part with that story yesterday as well. So I played it back. Yeah, Paul Murphy, when he was all waiting. When he switched the music off in the jazz dance competition in the jazz room in 1983, he wasn't saying it loud for everybody to say. He was saying it to this black guy, and these couple of black guys down the stairs. And then when the black guy came back upstairs and said he couldn't find Milton or Robert, because Robert was definitely there. He was definitely 100% there. There was two of them, Milton Cowpine and Robert, they were looking for, but he was mainly saying Milton, because earlier in that evening, Milton Cap and Robert, they walked into the jazz room once, and this was about an hour and a half before the competition started. But they didn't dance in the dance floor, and Robert was following around like a shadow. Couldn't understand what was going on. and then he went out the jazz room and maybe had some. I think they called out Paul Murphy to have a little word about something. That was the night of the competition. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, they're whispering and the music was playing. I couldn't understand. I'm not gonna get involved and say, oh, what's what you guys talking about? I'll get my nose and start, sticking my nose into their business. There's none of that. Anyway, the guy that when Paul Murphy in that evening sent the guy downstairs, and the guy could have been about 5 minutes. He came back up the stairs. Didn't hear anything he was saying because Paul Murphy, he was talking low, like he was whispering to him, telling him to do it. You could see he was getting agitated. But he said, sorry. And he sent him downstairs. And when he came back upstairs, Paul Murphy, this is what I meant to say in the other upload I did a couple days ago, couldn't hear what he's saying because he's saying it low. It's kind of whispering. He wasn't saying it loud. He wasn't saying that loud. He was saying it in a very, very low voice. He wanted everyone to hear what was going on. And he sent him back downstairs, and then he called the guy back. And he went into his pocket and he told the black guys to go buy him a drink at the bar upstairs, bring him back a drink, bring back Paul Murphy a drink, and he had a drink for himself because he's running up and down the stairs. So he thought, oh, Paul Murphy bought the guy a drink, and the guy went back down the stairs and tried to look for Milton McCarthy and Robert, but they wasn't there. And when I said, oh, I bought him a drink, I don't think I explained properly when I said Paul Murphy told the guy to go to the bar upstairs, buy him a drink, Paul Murphy, and the guy to buy himself a drink. So the guy bought back the drink. That guy bought back the drink, Paul Murphy, and went back down the stairs to look for Milton McCarthy. I think it could have been about more. It was about over 10 minutes, about 10, 12, 13 minutes. The music was off in the jazz. We were all standing around waiting for the competition to start. And then we had to carry on about Milton McCarthy. That tune I was playing earlier, I think that was the tune. But there's one other tune that it could have been. I think it was that one he played. I'm sure he'll remember if he watches this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to ask them. Fucking true. As I watch about the competition downstairs, I'll get to that later on. Find out who was the top dancer. These guys sitting there making up the top dancers. Richard Warm started from 82 to 86. So there's 1982, 1983, 1984, 1985, 1986, about 6 years. But there could have been like different dancers, could have been the top dancers in them clubs. But people would have known who's the top dancers. Like downstairs, there was top dancers downstairs to the soul, funk and boogie. Well, on YouTube, there's a band called Pasadena's and stuff. There's a tune there, my favourite tune, Riding on the Train. Yeah, them guys there, you don't even see it drop in the ocean what they're doing, because there's some badass dancing. And they knew about the jazz scene and stuff. I think maybe one or two of them, maybe I don't know if they were involved with it, but I knew some guys that were there and they seen top dancing and stuff. But they wasn't, when you watch it on the internet, you don't really see the top dancer. There's the Indian guy that's in Pasadena. He looks like he looks like the best dancer. Because I couldn't believe when I went to Electric One. It was the early stages, this is the first couple of weeks that I was there. I see this Indian, I thought Indian, I didn't know it was going to be Indian guy. I see, there wasn't that many, I think he was the only one. That's the only Indian guy that was there. I don't see that, I don't think there was hardly any Indian girls or anything. He's the only Indian guy could dance. I'm downstairs, I'm walking from downstairs to upstairs and I see this Indian guy dancing. I thought, well, it's in my mind. I'll never forget this. It's only past 5 seconds. I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I thought, what the fuck is that banging on the dance floor? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe it. I was like bewildered, to say the least. Well, listen, I didn't say to nobody. It was just in my mind. And there's this. He was dancing up close to the stage downstairs in Electric Warm. There was all these people around there, like black people and there was white people was there. They're standing around there watching this guy. And he was kicking us. I didn't know about them could dance like that. I was in complete shock. I didn't say about this. I barely lost a step and looking down and I'm thinking, shit. I've never seen anything like that. And he was kicking us. I think it's one of in that Riding on the Train, Pasadena thing on that. I was watching on YouTube a few years back and everything. But he looks the best in that. People are just looking for naked eye and say, he's the best one there. But I've seen the other guys dance and they're pretty good. I bumped into one of them a couple of years ago. One of them Pasadena's well, definitely did. I was just in a real foul mood and he was like talking at me and stuff. And I think I've seen one of them, another one of them from the His posters was everywhere in Brixton. I don't know what he was doing and stuff. I was even looking at the posters. I see like them guys from back in the days and stuff and posters and stuff, and they're still doing stuff like Trevor Nelson, Radio 1 DJ, apparently we call that Trevor Mad Hatter and stuff. Yeah, I think he was on a trip there to went to Italy and Smirnoff was the one who sponsored it, and Judge Jules, Radio 1 DJ was there. There's another one, there's Radio 1 DJ, there was 3 of them. It was told that, you know, they did like 3-4 clubs in Italy. He was only there for about 3 or 4 days and went to these different towns and stuff. And they were pretty happy with the Smirnoff and the coke. They could get the whole the cocaine was available then, I remember. But I was saying, no cocaine for me. I'd rather spliff vodka and cocaine, not my cup of tea kind of thing. So I'm out to details with that shit. I'm not gonna go into it, but it's no big deal. It's true that they're gonna make up that they didn't have any fucking cocaine and stuff. I wasn't on coke. Yeah, I never ever bought no coke. remember there's this club, Giles Peterson did. This was after Electric Ballroom, for years after it finished and everything. This club Voodoo on Regent's Park, and it was packed and stuff. And one time I was in the toilets and Giles Peterson and then a few of his crew walked into the toilet because they were having some cocaine. They were chopping up the razor blades and they were rolling up like 25 notes. They said, "Oh, Marshall, come over." Somebody said, I said, no. I was a bit, but after about 20 seconds of them persuading me, I just said, okay. Because if I said no, it would have been like kind of antisocial. So I just went, okay, guys, and stuff. But it didn't really mean anything on drugs. I remember there's a couple of times at Dingwalls and stuff. Giles Peterson, when he was playing at Dingwalls, he wasn't playing no jazz. He played like, he said only played like one jazz tune. There wasn't a jazz tune they played in Electric Ballroom. I'll dig up that tune and I'll play that later on down the line. There's a couple of them tunes, but he only played one in the night, and there was all these guys that couldn't play. Because that's there. There's a few of them that's there on that Holy Roller Productions and on the internet with like Gary Nurse and his crew. Yeah, some of them guys, they were at Dingwalls and they were dancing and they're making out as there was music being played there. There's a comment on YouTube where some guy turned around and said, "Oh, Dingwalls, ICDJF," giving the impression as though they was dancing that place. It wasn't playing no jazz whatsoever. Well, there's one or two jazz tunes. When I say he play no jazz whatsoever, I mean he used to play one tune in the entire night. No, I don't remember how many hours Dingwalls used to go on, but he just used to play just one solitary tune. But it wasn't one of them jazz fusion tunes where they played electric. But it was an okay tune. I remember some of the tunes, like a couple of the individual tunes he's played in that night when he played Dingwalls. And a couple of times he had Dingwalls in the DJ stand there. First guy, the guy to the stand there, pass Giles Peterson, and spiff, and he's there, and spiff in the DJ stands and stuff. Yeah, because he let me down one time. Because apparently I was doing a little bit of promotion around that time. And Roy Ayers was in town, but obviously he's under contract and stuff, and he couldn't really do any other gig apart from what he's contracted to do. But obviously I knew like a woman called Jean Davenport who was organising his tour, whatever, and obviously had to be real low. And I told Giles Peterson about it, and he said, yeah, I'll help you out and everything with some leaflet in the local. I said, I can't put it in the radio because it's not supposed to be there. He said, yeah, because I think he was doing Dingwalls, and he said, yeah. They do some leaflet and let everybody know about it. And he said, oh, because this was at the under. I was doing it with this pirate radio group called Power Jam, based in Brixton and stuff. And I was like the middleman there with getting Roy Ayers to show up there and stuff. But Roy Ayers got paid his money just about. Just about lucky, just about broke even. Giles Peterson was there. He showed up there. He said to me, "Oh, put me in the guest list, +3." I think there was some chick and there was another couple that was going there, but I didn't know if they got there late one that night. But he showed up there to the underworld. Because I remember I was down when he walked in. I was downstairs. I was talking to this chick, and I looked up the stairs and I see him go into the to the box office where you pay your money. And I didn't hear what he said. He turned around and said, "I'm on the guest list," and they said, "Yeah," and he went downstairs. I said, where's that +3? Well, I said, yeah. But I was a bit upset with him because he said at the end that he was going to help out with it. It was word of mouth, he used to call it. He had to keep it low because it was like he wasn't somebody supposed to be doing that gig. But I think the place was about 50% full, but I was relying upon him to help out the DJ, and he kind of let me down. But I got over it a long time ago, kind of. Didn't really mean anything. At the time it did. A couple of girls and stuff. A couple of us has been pissed off with the bastard. But no, I think that's at the end of the day. Anyway, just before I get that straight here, I don't dance in this. I mean, Giles Peterson, you remember, he's playing at Electric Ballroom. You never seen me dancing against any motherfucker. I was just doing my own thing. There's lots of guys who's just doing their own thing. That's how I used to dance. Battle against somebody, the backward dance. I said competition on that other. I meant to say battle dance, not competition. There's competition. Everyone is doing their own thing, their solo, and bang, bang, bang. That's my thing. I'm not this battle dancer business. So that's just a big ass lie. Because I would definitely remember that. And that's why I've been going to Electric Ballroom for 6 years. I don't recall in the battle dancing anyone. And people don't know. Or people who knew him and never really hear him talk will be able to tell that he's lying, especially like he's either his girlfriend or his wife. Apparently, I don't know if he's married or stuff, because that's something. So I was, like 10 years old, he's got this kid and everything, and saw the motherfucker and his kid there, Troy, and Holy Roller production thing, because I got that information from when I was watching years ago. One of them electric ballroom clips, and somebody in the comments and stuff turned and said, "Oh, check out Holy Roller production." And I can understand when they're putting on YouTube, but they most got they only got thumbs up comment if you like the videos what they got there in Holy Roller production. They ain't got no thumbs down, because I'm sure the thumbs, maybe they did it when they first put that shit online. But I think they put it online about 11 years ago. Now, they did start off with a thumbs down. I think that the thumbs down was outweighing the thumbs up. I think it's been out there 11 years. I think it's only maybe about 2 thumbs up and shit, to no surprise. And it most probably them getting their paying friends to give thumbs up for that shit. I mean, I've seen some astonishing lies that I'm hearing there. There's certain guys that it's with. People say, bring back them days, bring back them days. Bring back what days? They weren't there back in the day. They weren't there around. They completely missed the jazz scene. I got there almost at the end of the jazz scene. After less than a year of Electric Ballroom when it first opened up, most of the top guys disappeared. There was a few Jaffa motherfuckers left, and there's some of them Jaffa guys that used to dance, that used to come upstairs now and then, and do their stuff. I remember one time I was on the dance floor and I see a couple of them Jaffa motherfuckers on the dance floor dancing throughout. Children was just dancing on the floor. Sometimes Paul Murphy used to go on the road where he's playing tune after tune after tune, getting tired of getting ready to step off the floor. And he put another tune, now he's getting extra energy. I like the tune, I'm staying on the dance floor. Look, when I see these Jaffa guys there on the dance floor, they can dance and dance over 3/4 hours at the same pace. There's a certain technique where it's called the jazz funk. So them ICDJF motherfuckers, they ain't got that shit. Same guns, give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves going out there with their lies and stuff. Because there's people in there, they've been in there back in the days, Electric Ballroom, in them days, they were getting criticised. I wasn't getting criticised, because obviously I made my name on the dance floor before IDJ was born, before the jazz dance group idea was born. Because when the jazz dance group idea was thought of, there was none of the IDJs, apart from me, that was in the jazz room at that time. So whoever's turning around saying that they made up the group. Yeah, they made the name of the group, but the idea of making a jazz dance group wasn't their idea. Whoever's turning around saying that they made up the group IDJ. Yeah, they might have chose the name, but they weren't part of the jazz. They wasn't in the jazz or part of that jazz scene at the time. But the idea of the jazz group, of having a dance group, was born in the jazz room. And I think I was, when the idea, there was no IDJ, it didn't exist. So the person who took those people turning around and giving the impression that they were there at the heart of the jazz scene. No, and it was some people who's organising some stuff, because apparently the first initial gig was at the London Palladium, and it should have been one of them other guys there, Mark Sanalaro talking to Princess Diana for about 4 minutes. It was unbelievable. People were standing around thinking, what the fuck's going on? I wonder if he's ever told that story to anybody. And in them days, there weren't no social distancing going on. So I'm standing right next to him, and obviously it was either, I think it was Jerry Barry was standing on his other side. Mark Sanalaro was on my right hand side, and Jerry Barry was on his next side, and then there was Stephen Edwards there, and there was all these other people in the bands and whoever was performing there. Because I think there were about 30 people standing in the line in Princess Diana. Most of the people there shook her hand and she just moved on. And she stops and talks to some people for a few minutes, like you see on the TV, the rows. There's a line of people there standing up there. They always pick up 1 or 2 to talk to. I don't know who they were talking to. You know, she was quite well down there. I don't remember who them bands were, but those motherfuckers, they had like fresh memories and stuff. But I remember what she was saying and stuff. And she talked about her life, and it was that funny. The joke wasn't on the Princess Diana, because one of her security guards, I wasn't looking up. I'm standing face front and shit. It's royalty, you know what I'm saying? You know, looking around and stuff. You know, he's your attention and stuff. And one of her bodyguards he lost his composure for a few seconds. But I think he kind of spun his arm. He spun around about 180 degrees. I wasn't looking at the other arms. I think she had a few security that was pretty close. But I was almost on the floor laughing. I wonder if that Mark Selmy remember any of that stuff. I'm not going to come out with any of that shit. I'll tell a few people in the low that I haven't really told anybody up to that day what happened. But you know, if you stand up there and talk to Princess Diana for about 4 minutes, surely be talking about it all the time. And don't go listen to people like Jerry Barrett and Stephen Edwards. They didn't deserve to be there because they're better dancers. They weren't the cream of the jazz scene. They were people who just used to walk in the jazz room for a few seconds and just mess around the floor. Okay. So there's a story to the beginning of that. I'm going to get that to that later on this year. Fucking forces, and there's a bit of controversy. I think I mentioned it about 10 years ago when I did an upload. When they played in, obviously it's royalty and stuff, and the alarm bell went off, and one of the back doors opened. So obviously, you know, it could be terrorists or anything, and security ran downstairs near the fire escape door. This could be like near the back where somewhere changing rooms and stuff. And it was Stephen Edwards who got his friend Leslie in the back with this bag. It could have been a bomb, anything. He's the one who took the pictures. Like, if they got the pictures of Princess Diana and stuff, that could have been a bomb. Who saw that movie, True Lies, when that with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and there's this terrorist that had all these hostages and stuff, and one of them special agents that was working alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, the good guys. They were making out, they went in there with some camera, and he had a concealed gun in there, in the camera, and he took out a few of them terrorists. Now, that could have been a bomb. And I remember I had a big argument about that. If I had a time machine, I would have gone back in time. If I had a time machine, I would have gone back in time that day, and I would have told the security straight away that's that guy who just went in there, because they were saying, shh. We almost had a big fight about that. But I tell you what, if I had a time machine, I would have gone back in time and told the people, the security in there who came in at the back. He had this big bag on him. It could have been anything in there. And something, I don't know what them guys are like. I think it's a social. We weren't friends. We're acquaintances. We see each other in the club and don't talk. Don't mean that we're friends, you know what I'm saying? And to this day, I used to talk and socialise with most of them people. They might maybe know my name, but I didn't know most of their names until I started. When I started organising, I didn't organise a culture. Tim Westwood was there because there was this all day and stuff up north and stuff. And he said, "Oh, Mike, give me I'm doing some coaches. I only got 2 coaches full because there's about 50 people on average that would be on each of the coach. And you need to do another coach because mainly the people downstairs were going there. And he said, "Oh, can you help me organise the coach trip and take control of one of the coaches and stuff?" I said, "No sweat." You know, the first time Tim was even talked to me and stuff. I don't know if it was around the time when IDJ was. I don't think he knew me because of anything to do with IDJ or that idiot clip that you see on YouTube. So I wasn't like that anywhere. I was just showing off for the cameras. It wasn't any stuff like that. It was just, I'm young, there's a camera around, and I'm just like, you know, all excited in the camera and being pretentious and stuff. I never used to act that way. I wasn't like one for that. I wasn't being sociable or socialised. We wasn't friends or anything. It's like that clip of Art Blankenship making out as though we all go to clubs together. There weren't no such thing as that. That's just for the camera. That's like, but people could be looking at that making out as though we was friendly, used to phone up and go to clubs socialising. There wasn't that, not in no once. Unless it between them, couple of them out knowing each other and gone to clubs like that. But not a bit. I'll talk about Melvin Obazeki and stuff. He used to have 1 or 2 excursions and stuff. He said, look, there's these clubs up in Toxteth in Liverpool and Bolton and Manchester, and there's lots of chicks and everything, and he's got all the accommodation sorted out, he knows some people there. So when 1 or 2 of those trips don't mean that with his friend and stuff. And then like Perry there sitting there talking about Melvin Obazeki, there being like some kind of big time dancer. Melvin Obazeki can't dance. Anybody that ain't able to dance jazz fusion after about a minute and a half of training less could dance better than that man. That's going to be one of the worst dancers I think I've ever seen in my life. He's completion. I'm not just saying that because of whatever reason. It's the truth. if I'm saying something like 10 years ago about that, love it, dance. It's just complete rubbish. You can't dance. They're not the cream of that jazz scene, but there's people there that knows at the end of the day who are the best dancers and stuff. But none of those fuckers there in the ICDJF, they're not even part of the jazz scene. Anyway, this is upload to get some things straight on the other upload, because it was a someone could have misinterpreted it and thought, oh, but you just said you wanted to do competition and then you don't dance in competitions. No. What I meant to say was battle dance. And like that, some people told me, I said I was apparently battle dancing online to a certain tune that I didn't even like. That wouldn't even get in my top 50, the top 60, not top 100. Didn't like that tune. There's other tunes that I didn't like. But there's people that they had the slightly different styles. Nothing like there's none of that brothers in jazz business styles going on there. There's a guy called Nathaniel that was from Leeds, and that's the guy that in the Electric Ball clip. The one that I stopped finishing these moves, and I wish that I did it, because if I had a time machine and then did that routine with that Jerry Bow, that shit, that bow and arrow shit, that full that rubbish. That never happened in the Electric Ball apart from that time when the cameras on, just showing off the cameras. If I had a time machine, there was no way I was doing that routine. So I let that guy let that Nathaniel carry on doing what he's doing, because obviously Brothers in Jazz, they know him because he's from there, they're from Leeds as well. He never used to do none of that stuff. What you see on what the Brothers in Jazz doing. He was just doing fusion. He was just doing He was just doing fusion and stuff. And what he used to do, but he was in the amateur floor. He wasn't in the main dances. He used to keep a low profile. He used to jump up. He used to do his stuff. I can't do this move. He used to do this move, and he used to jump up and spin around 360 degrees in the air and land, and then get back into that shit. That was his little catchy move. Kept a low profile. He didn't do any of that trained dancing business and Brothers in Jazz. Because if any of if there was a time machine and Brothers in Jazz went to Electric Ball, there's no way they would have been stepping on the dance floor any of that shit. They would not even have contemplated it before. They would have just sat down, kept a low profile, and that's it. Because the fact because he knows him, he used to do the kind of style what they used to do, but he didn't do none of any of that shit you see Brothers in Jazz doing. So that kind of competition, that's not my cup of tea. I don't do shit like that. There's lots of them guys, I don't compete. So they're battle dancing. So that's what I say, competition. Now competition when everybody does their own thing solo, that's okay. I want a few competitions on that too. But battle dancing business, not my cup of tea. When I first got that scene, jazz fusion motherfuckers, there was a few of them. Could come out about less than a handful of them. They're real badass fucking dancers. There's lots of guys. Like the guy who first introduced me to jazz, Marcus Louis from Peckham School. He was in a year older, because when I was in the 5th year, he was in the 6th form and he was going Jaffers and stuff. He wasn't a top dancer, but we used to go to Cat Whiskers when they used to play about 1 or 2 jazz tunes. I think I remember Steve Walsh was the DJ. He used to drive around, this fat guy, this white guy, used to drive around the complete. I heard years ago, this is like a couple of decades ago that he died, but I'm not really sure someone said that shit. I don't know, it's a fact. But they said, oh, he died and stuff. So, well, I didn't really know. Well, it was more than 2 decades ago. I think I heard that. I think it was like 3 decades ago. About 31 years, 32 years ago, they died or something. I don't know the truth. And it's not a spliff. It's an unbelief wrong. Anyway, I just thought cleaning that shit. I was going to write something. I was going to type out some notes in that fucking video, but I thought it was easier at the end of the day to fucking do a quick upload. and just straighten out that misunderstand what sort of people can perceive as a misunderstanding. So also turning around saying that the dancing dance competition, we're going to turn around saying competition, it's competition. I needed to straighten up that shit. Yeah. I do a couple of other shit. Maybe later on down the line.